Check this out. I can really quickly jump between all these different titles on my timeline, so if I need to make a bunch of changes to every single one, I can. Plus, it helps you stay organized, it makes grading a group of clips an absolute doddle, and it makes your timeline look way cooler. It's all stupidly easy to do, and you'll probably be left wondering why you didn't do it in the first place. What am I talking about? Clip colors. Welcome, ladies and gents, to 5 Minute Fridays. I'm going to show you the how and the why, so let's jump into Davinci Resolve and take a look. And straight away, one of the main benefits of using these clip colors is that I can really quickly identify the different sections of the timeline. I know that all of these orange sections down here are my A-roll. This is my talking head. I know that all of this green section here, this is my screen capture. All of this yellow is B-roll, and all of this teal over here, this is my overhead camera. And that is a benefit which shouldn't be understated. If you use the same colors for a bunch of projects, it really quickly becomes second nature. So as soon as you look at the timeline, you can punch into the sections that you need in no time at all. It is a really handy thing to be able to do. There's some other benefits too, which I kind of hinted at the beginning, which we'll get back to in a second. But first, let me show you really quickly how to actually set the clip colors. So the first way to do it is directly on the timeline, which is what we actually did for this project here. So you can see all of this B-roll is all in yellow, but we missed this clip here. So all we need to do, we give the clip a click on the timeline, we then right click, we go to clip color, and we get a list of colors. So this one needs to be yellow, so I simply give yellow a click, and now it's yellow. Alternatively, you can give it a click, open up the inspector, top right hand corner, then go to file, and there's the same clip colors within here. We could change this to green if we wanted to, and then if we want to get rid of the color, we simply click on this little X to revert it back to the default. Now you can do this for multiple clips at once by simply highlighting all the clips that you want on the timeline, right click, clip color, let's change these to be olive. Now they're all olive. Let's right click, clip color, go back to yellow, and yellow once again. Now the other method is doing this directly within the media pool. Now this is where staying organized is key, and I highly recommend that whenever you create a new project, you also create bins, because again, using bins with clip colors just makes the whole thing way easier. So I've got my media pool open, and you can see I've got my main A, my A-roll, my overhead, my B-roll, and my screen capture. So let's just go to overhead, and I've got all of this footage within here. It's simply a case of highlighting everything, or the ones that you need. You can again go to inspector and file, and you've got the clip color, or what we can simply do is right click, come down to clip color. My overhead is teal, so I'm going to come down and find teal and give that a click. Now you'll see these small little colored icons on all of the individual clips. And as soon as I grab one and put it on the timeline, it's automatically going to come in as teal. So I can just go through these folders, select all of this B-roll here. We will right click, go to clip color, and we're going to go to yellow. Now all of my B-roll is yellow. And if we go into the main A, I'm just going to select this one here rather than all of them, for example. We're going to come down, clip color. This is going to be orange. And then anything we grab, add to the timeline is automatically going to be orange on the timeline. Boom. Simple, easy process. You just need to remember to do it, and then try and stay organized and try and use the same colors for every single project, and it will become second nature in no time. So how do you then start doing all of that other stuff like the filtering and the jumping around? Well, on the edit page, there is something called the index, which is right up here in the top left-hand corner. I should really do a full video about this edit index, so maybe I'll do that in the future. Down here underneath my media pool, we get a list of all of the clips that are currently on our timeline, and we get a bunch of additional detail like the time in, the time out, the duration, all this sort of stuff. Now this becomes useful because what we can do is click on these three little dots, come down to show clip colors, and then we can select the color that we want. So if I go to orange, this is going to be a list of all of the A-roll on my timeline. I know it's A-roll because it's colored orange. If we give one of them a click, it will jump to that position on the timeline. And then if I use the down arrow key, I can actually jump to all of the individual clips. If I was to click the three dots again, show clip color, let's go with teal this time. And once again, I can jump to all of those individual clips on the timeline. Super quick and easy. Now for that trick I showed you at the beginning, this title here, let me right click, clip color, all of the titles on the timeline I set to be tan. Now obviously you can't do this within the media pool, you have to drag the title on and then remember to set them as tan. But that means we can simply filter by clip color, we come down, find tan. I've got all of the titles, I can jump through them like so. Now what you can also do, if you click on timeline at the very top, there's an option down here for selection follows playhead. And what that simply means is wherever the playhead is, the thing underneath it will automatically be activated. It will be selected. And that's how I can open the inspector, go to the video tab, and as I hit down on my keyboard to jump between these different filtered titles, it's automatically going to actually select the title so the options are available to me within the inspector. And I could quickly change the font for this one, maybe jump to the next one and change the size, and jump to the next one and change the font once again. And you get the idea, it's nice and quick. Nice! Edit index. Now the edit index does work in exactly the same way on the Fairlight page as well, but it's slightly different on the color page. But this again is another really nice use for this. In this example, all of my B-roll needed to be graded relatively similar. So rather than setting up groups on the color page, I could just filter by color, select what I want, and job done. So let's jump over to the color page. Now in the top left-hand corner, you'll notice there is no index. Instead, we click on this button here called clips. And by clicking clips, we simply get this little clips bar down here. And straight away, you can see we've got our little icons, our little colors. So then if we click this drop down, we come to clip color, we can do the same thing again. So in this example, let's do our B-roll, which we know is yellow. We click yellow. Here's all of my B-roll. I can just go through all of these individual clips, do any of the color grading that I need to do. It'll automatically jump to the correct clip on the timeline. It's really quick and simple and easy to do. Now this does work slightly differently on the color page because if we click on clips, come down to clip color, then select teal, this actually allows multiple selections. So you can see we've got teal and we've got yellow. So on the color page, you just need to remember to deselect the one that you don't want. Now we've just got all of our teals, which is our overhead, and then we can do anything we want from there. Now, one last final quick warning, because I think this is wrong. I don't think this should work in this way, and it's tripped me up a few times in the past. And that is, if you've set this clips filter on the color page, jump back to the edit page, it will have no effect whatsoever. So this timeline's all active and I can just continue editing. However, if I jump over to the deliver page, that clips filter will be active. So we are only seeing our teal clips within here. And if I select single clip, it's going to say it cannot render a single clip because there is a clip filter. And that can be really confusing if you forgot that you put the filter on. So you just need to click on clips at the top, go to all clips, and now I can jump to the single clip and render out my project as normal. Clip colors in a nutshell. That probably wasn't just 5 minutes, but hopefully you get the idea. Thanks for watching. Take it easy. I'll see you next time.